Hello, welcome to the Tales of Alethrion channel. I'm sitting here. I'm Mikkel Mainz. I'm sitting here with Gints Zilbalodis.
Gints Zilbalodis.
Gints Zilbalodis. And it's a quite amazing thing. We met yesterday at Void, which is like an animation festival in Copenhagen. And Gints has made like a feature film called Away, and that's a feature film fully done by you without dialogue. And he came and gave a talk just after I'd been talking about Tales of Alethrion, and we got out in town and we realized we just like have like so much in common in terms of like taste and life, and so here we have a little interview. Can you just tell a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So Away is my first feature. I made a few short films before, and I did a few hand-drawn films. I did one live-action film, and a bunch of CG films. And in a way, I'm kind of combining all these elements. It's a CG film, but it has this graphic look, so it kind of looks like hand-drawn. But it's obviously 3D. I'm not really hiding that. It's just inspired by 2D. I'm not trying to imitate 2D. And then I also have these handheld movements that I like.
Yeah.
That I enjoy in live action films. So it's this dialogue-free feature film. Yeah, that I made on my own. It's about this boy, and he's riding a motorcycle on this desert island, and he's trying to escape this big dark monster that's chasing him. And along the way he meets different animals, and basically the film is about finding a connection with people. The boy is kind of lost and alone, and he's trying to reconnect with society.
Oh yeah.
And so the boy is trying to find people, and along the way he meets this bird, and the bird is also lost and separated, and he's trying to find his other birds, and so that's what the film is about. And it's also like, for me, I think films can be like that.
Yeah.
You can bring people together and connect them in some ways.
Something I really connected with, and something where I saw, oh man, this is exactly my cup of tea, is I could really see your hobbies and interest in this film. Like when I was seeing the film, I was thinking Journey and Shadow of the Colossus and all these like games where you experience the game, and it was kind of like watching a film where you focused on the emotion. Can you talk a little bit about your references of the...
Yeah, those games. Also Future Boy Conan, Miyazaki series. He did it before Ghibli, but it's very similar to Laputa. Also Buster Keaton, he made the film General.
Yeah.
And it's like this simple chase, just these two trains chasing each other throughout the whole film. It's really simple, and in my film I also have this chase, and so I wanted to have this simple goal that the characters have. So without dialogue, you need to have, like, I think you need to keep it kind of simple at the core, so audience doesn't get confused. But then you can, if you have this simple core, then you can kind of have these crazy things on top. But yeah, so, and also there's this film Duel by Spielberg.
Oh yeah.
It's also another chase film.
Old
It's from the 70s, yeah, one of his first ones, and it's about this truck chasing this smaller car, and and I'm a big fan of Alfonso Cuarón. He's kind of known for the long takes he does.
Yeah.
And you can only do these kind of long takes in 3D.
Yeah.
If you want the camera to move like he does, and so I actually, that's one of the main reasons why I switched to 3D from 2D, because I wanted to have these camera moves.
Yeah. We and I can really see, we talked about it yesterday, but now we had the camera moves. we talked a bit yesterday about this Unreal rendering. Can you talk a little bit about that? About how you were basically you could place the camera wherever you wanted. So instead of having a storyboard, you basically put the camera different. Can you elaborate?
The film is rendered with real-time rendering, and I didn't even use Unreal.
It was like Maya. Right?
It's just Maya viewport, so it's just play blasted, and so that way I could save a lot of time, and basically there's no compositing too. It's just the whole look is found directly in the viewport. So that's the thing that I made one short film that was traditionally rendered in 3D, and I found it kind of frustrating that I couldn't really see what I'm working, and then you have to render, and it takes a few minutes, and it kind of takes me out of the flow, and then when you render different passes, you composite them, and it takes just a long time to see what you're doing, and I wanted to have like direct. I wanted to see immediately what I was working on, and this way I can. Yeah. And I can change the lights and the camera all at the same time. That's the way I work. I work on everything at the same time. It's really tricky and also kind of risky to work this way. Yeah. So you can only do it if you're on your own, I guess. Yeah. Because if you have a bigger team, you need to have some sort of a plan so that everyone's on the same page. Yeah. But this way I could experiment, and I could, like, in the same day, I'm just tweaking the animation for the characters, and then I see that I can't really solve this problem with animation, but if I change the light, if I move the camera a little bit, so I can hide some things, or I can make it more impactful. Yeah. So it's hard to like have different people working together to have this kind of technique. So, but if I do everything myself, I can do all of those together. Yeah. So that's why in the credits I don't like credit myself as an animator, or
it just says
it's just one
a film
credit.
By you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Because I
saw in the IMDb or somewhere where it just says your name on all roles. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very amazing. So now you got a little bit in on it yourself, but making a film alone gives that freedom you just talked about. I work in smaller teams when I do Tales of Alethrion, and that's also a free feeling, because I feel I have creative freedom to tell the films, and because I've done it with the audience and with crowdfunding, I feel that I can tell the stories I want, and the team is all engaged. It's very much a small team effort, which creates something original. But when you have a movie that you do all by yourself, I just really liked your mindset about it, where you basically said it was like 4 short films you were making, and put it in, it was 4
short films.
4 short films that you put into one film that then became a feature. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? I really liked the different emotions you would then focus on in the different.
Yeah.
And also with the first short film that then got destroyed.
Yeah. So it's 4 chapters, and I always planned to put them all together as one big story. Yeah. But I worked on them separately, and I just thought that it would be really difficult to convince people to fund the film, a whole feature that I would do on my own without really having any experience doing that before. So I split it up, and I worked on each chapter separately, and it also was easier just to have a smaller part to focus on, and not to be too overwhelmed with the amount of work you have when you make a whole feature. And so I made each of the chapters separately, and once I finished the 4th chapter, I realized that the first one just wasn't as good as the rest, because I was still learning, and I learned so much making it, the other ones, and so I realized I need to work on it again, and I was actually forced to make it the second time because I lost some important files, and that was pretty tough at first
to swallow.
Yeah, but luckily it's like the second time it was much easier and much faster, because in 3D it takes a long time to get started. Like in 2D you can just start drawing and immediately you have almost the finished image. But in 3D you create each asset and you spend days or weeks or months just preparing like ingredients when you're cooking.
Yeah.
And once you have all the ingredients you can keep adding easily.
Yeah.
So I already had the ingredients, so the second time it was much easier, and I had the feeling of like I knew how to animate these characters. I was used to them, but it was good to have like I made that first chapter because I wanted to have some. It was almost like a proof of concept to show that it's possible to make the whole film. And it was a test for me, also a test for me to prove it to myself, because I wasn't so sure myself, because I hadn't done this, so I was afraid too. So I thought if the project doesn't work out, at least I'll have one short or two shorts I can distribute separately instead of this whole feature.
Yeah.
And so luckily it turned out well, so I didn't have to do that, but I did plan each chapter to have kind of this separate arc, so they could work separately.
Cool.
Do you think of your chapters in Tales of Alethrion as one big story, or like how do you?
That's actually thanks for asking. I think that I really like the mindset you also have for your film, because each episode of Tales of Alethrion I treat it as like a short film, but it's connected to the other episodes. So it's basically one big film you can watch with intertwined stories, where the different characters you follow can be, one hero can be the villain in another one's opinion, and it can be a nobody in somebody else's opinion, and then you see it from different points of view in each storyline.
So they work separately, but if you see all of them, you get more out of that.
Yeah, then you get to actually explore the world, because you see this period of time from a lot of different viewpoints with different themes. So it's like you have different emotions connected to it. Some story can be really jolly good and the journey is the reward, and the other one can be a bad choice where, you know, greed takes over and kills the love. And
how much do you plan in advance, and how much do you discover on the way connected?
I think that to begin with I wrote 10 scripts. But every time I make a new episode, the script changes to where I am in life. I guess you can connect to that in your film as well. It was very much like my life situation also changed what I wanted to tell. And then I knew the characters. Like right now, I'm telling a story that I've wanted to tell for so long. It's the daughter of a villain that's killed in the first film, The Reward. And I've always known I wanted to tell this story, but now it's the perfect time to actually tell it with everything else that's built up and stuff like that. So before it was just she was just evil. But now there's so much character in her that it's I'm really satisfied with this story we're doing right now. But it's gonna be exciting when it's released. You're also working on a new film called Flow.
I'm just getting started. Like I'm writing the script now. The film's called Flow, and it's based on a short film I made years ago about this cat who's afraid of water, and he wakes up in this kind of post-apocalyptic world where everything is flooded, and he has to learn how to adapt and overcome his fears, and the short film was just about that. But in the feature version, it's he meets many different animals on the way, and just like Away was about this one character alone on an island, just like me making that film alone. So Flow is about this group of characters, and they're arguing at times, and sometimes they're supporting each other. So it's kind of like that process of making a film together with a small team, which I'm planning to do.
Oh, cool.
So it's about this collaboration, and I think you need to have some personal aspect in your projects so you can understand them better.
Yeah, that's what we fight for.
Yeah.
I think that it's like so great to make films, and I really enjoy watching films like yours. It's so beautiful, and you can see so many different choices made, and it's like, I think that we're gonna see more of that. We talked about it yesterday with the amazing, the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And stylized animation and this kind of indie scene. I think it's getting more and more seen and accepted.
Yeah.
So it's just hard sometimes to also know where to find it. For example, your film, I've been looking forward to see that one since last summer.
Yeah.
I just saw it now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's still hard. Like, it's hard to convince people that there are different kinds of animation.
Yeah.
Like, there are fans of that, but it's hard to convince the old guards, like the old people who didn't grow up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For them, it's still, animation is just for kids, and so we had Away in a bunch of festivals, but it's hard to get it into like these regular screenings.
Yeah.
But still, it's a lot better than I hoped at first. Really, it's we have some distributors in Europe and in the States and Asia.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy because it's just this one small film I made on my own. So
it's a feature film. I can be really proud of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty. How long time did it take?
3.5 years.
3.5 years to make a feature film. One person. It's a pretty good story.
So, but yeah, I worked on Away for 3.5 years, but you've also been in this one universe for a long time.
7 years, yeah.
Do you ever get tired of doing like this?
Actually, 8 years. I don't think I'm gonna get tired of Tales of Alethrion. I think it's both defined me and then my adult life, and it's such a passion project. So it's like fighting for a project, and you really just want this project to go on. You put yourself some goals and milestones, and you just like, you're in the dark cave, but you have your torch, and you just keep walking towards that sunlight, right? And I think that it wouldn't have been possible with all the help I've gotten on the way, and the different teams and people I've worked with on this project. But I think there's been like a really strong driving force, to make this project go on.
Did you think when you started? Did you know that it's gonna like be such a big project?
No, I had a gut feeling that this could be something really, really fun to work on. Basically, me and Kenneth, back when we started it with the reward, we were students of the animation workshop, and we just didn't want to make a usual short film. We wanted to make something, that represented the feeling of playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we had all these like references we liked, like Mind Game and Fully Cooley, and some French film like Les Cars and other amazing films, and we wanted to try to put that into a project. and do what we didn't think was possible to do after school. And then thankfully we were able to continue on it afterwards, thanks to the community who also wanted to see more. And it's like, then it became, a world, and I fell in love with the characters, and that was that. I know we talked about it yesterday as well, because you said that if you do a short film, you do it once and then it's over and then you start over.
Yeah.
But making all the assets and stuff like in 3D can make you reuse later.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with this world. It's some characters and a world that you know so well and you wanna see more. I think that's how I feel. I like really am curious and excited to always dig down in this lore and world and the different timelines I've set up.
Yeah, because for me, when I was working on A Way, I thought after I finish it, I'm gonna be so tired of all this. I'll just want to get as far away as I can from this. But once you finish it, you get so inspired, and it's strange that I immediately just wanted to make the next film.
Yeah.
And it's also without dialogue, and about this cat, which is also similar to A Way, and
that's what we share for sure. The non-dialogue.
It's exploring these similar themes, and like I look at some directors I like, and they have this obsession with the single theme that they're exploring throughout their whole lives, like with different, like coming from different aspects, like Hitchcock is always making films about the same thing, or it's different stories, but there's this obsession that they have, and yeah, so it's really, it's once you finish the film, only then you realize how to make it, and I feel like now I can make the next one better.
Yeah, I saw some shots from it. It looks very beautiful.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. I think that this graphic approach you have is like it's eye candy. Yeah, so nice, with good depth and atmosphere and colors. Yeah, nice characters. Just want to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's my next film is it's gonna be bigger, so it's a big challenge for me because I've only worked on my films by myself.
Yeah, but now it's gonna be a small team.
Yeah, but still, it's a different mindset.
Yeah, but 3 to 5 people, you said.
Yeah, something like that. I don't want it to be too big at first.
No, I think that's the dream as well.
Yeah.
Like working in a small team is really, then you get to know each other in another way.
Yeah.
As well. Just to talk about like the small team, you also on A Way did all the music yourself. Can you elaborate a little about that choice and working with composers previously?
Yeah. On my shorts, I worked with a friend of mine who did the music, and he's classically trained, and he's a proper musician, and I'm not. So, but I still decided to do it on my own this time, because I wanted to have a more not so classical approach for the music. So, it's very minimalistic and very simple, and I think that kind of style works for this film. And then I think most of the soundtracks are, at least the trend now is that the music in films is becoming more simple. And if I have this music at first, I can have, like, the music is guiding the visuals too. It's giving me ideas, and I have a tempo I can edit to, and so if I work on the music on my own, I can have that tempo to guide me. And sometimes it's like music is so abstract, it's hard to explain your ideas.
Yeah,
because it's also so subjective. If you say to the composer, I want to have this really mysterious feeling, and to that composer, mysterious maybe means something else. So I couldn't really describe what I was thinking of, and I could only make it on my own.
Yeah.
But now that I've done it, I think it was a good way to understand not just how the composer thinks, but also all other aspects.
Yeah.
So I did it on my own this time, but on my next film I'll need to have someone to help me. But now that I've done their job, I think I understand them better, and I can explain things.
Yeah.
And I think that the director is supposed to be able to articulate things.
I agree. But still, like if we stay in that area, I also think that, you know, when I saw your film, I was like, whoa, he did it by himself. He must have like a big space station to work on and 5 computers and a sound studio. But how did you actually work? I know, but can I just hear again?
I worked on my laptop and my MacBook Pro. And you don't really need the big studio. It's like all the music was done electronically, so I didn't have any instruments.
And you like learned how to do it on an app on the phone, and then you moved back to the computer.
Yeah, it's because I hadn't done music before, and I opened up the Logic Pro software, and there's so many buttons you can press, and I just got too scared. I didn't know where to start, so I gave up. But then I started playing with this app on the phone, and it makes it easier to learn the basics that way. Yeah. And once I figured out that you really don't need to know everything, you can just do a lot knowing just the basics. Yeah. I switched to the Pro version, and so I think it's a good idea to learn the basics. Yeah. Of like the directors really should know the basics of how music works, and how acting works, and how producing works. Yeah. And I've learned also through my years of making films, I've also had so many hats on, and like I think I have all roles. Yeah. At times. But it's also it doesn't get boring that way. That's true. It's really fun. You get to meet a lot of people as well. Yeah. There's for the now where there's only one person, the budget of the film also must have been quite small. Yeah. So I didn't need to rent a studio, or didn't need to, like most of the budgets in animation go to salaries, I guess. So I didn't have to hire anyone. And on my next film, Flow, I'm just using Blender, which is a free software. Yeah, so, amazing. So you can do a lot with little money now. Yeah. So now nobody should say that you can't make a feature film on your own, because it's proven here. Gints. Yeah. But I would say maybe we should round up. It's been a pure pleasure. Thank you so much for having the time to also talk with me. We had a great time yesterday, and I think that's how we came up with this idea of making a little film together as well. Yeah. Little interview. Cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Nice to meet you, and I'll see you in Latvia. Yeah. You should. Yeah, please let me know if you're there. Yes, I will, and also if you come to Denmark again. Yeah. I mean, I love your film. It's so great, and I was happy that you knew the reward. Yeah. I saw it when it came out, and it was huge. Like, it blew everyone away. I was really inspired. I think that's like a short film where we wanted to make a feature film into a short film. Yeah. All the little structures and like a fast-paced storytelling. Yeah. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or anything, you can write in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe. Check out Gints. I'm gonna put all his social media links in the video, so go follow him, check out his stuff, and watch Away. Where can they watch it? It's complicated right now. Status, it's complicated. Festivals is the best way to find it, and you can follow me on Twitter, and I'll let people know. Okay. And but it's gonna be released in some countries in Europe, and in the States you can find it online. And just follow me on Twitter. Yeah.
Yes, you got a new follow on me yesterday, so I actually I was really blown away when I saw that you were also coming to the festival, because it's like graphically, I think just watching the teaser or the pictures from your film connects a lot with nostalgia as well. To as mentioned, the games I really like, and I think it's very freeing and awesome that you can see this as films now.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. But we're gonna round up. Thanks for today.
Thanks.
Bye.